several months, the New Mexico and the Idaho have been chasing a reported Japanese battle group in the South Pacific. While there has been rumors of revolution in Japan, still the Yamashiro, the Kaio and the battle cruiser Akaishi are ready to give battle. Unfortunately, they appear to have picked up a lot more cruiser escorts than initially reported. And the Lexington, who's been sailing south from Hawaii at full steam to join up with the Idaho and the New Mexico, has not quite made it into the battlefield, while the American forces are forced into a conflict that is going to be a difficult one. There's one heavy cruiser of the Azuma class that we know by now relatively well, a whole bunch of armored cruisers, and 4 destroyers that we cannot take, that are relatively large, that we cannot just ignore. We have the Phelps, which is a Porter-class destroyer, a relatively capable gunboat. The Wicks, which is an older model. And we've got the Woolsey, her sister, as well as the mine layer John C. Butler, of the John C. Butler class, the Power. The mine layer probably will have to take a back seat, but it looks like the destroyers are going to have to take up cruiser duty. Okay, we've got the destroyers on a scouting pattern. The minesweeper itself is probably going to drop torpedoes and then disengage. We've got the Phelps, and she might need to stick a little closer to the battleships. And we've got Woolsey and Wicks in a line, as well as Idaho in the lead and New Mexico. I think this time around the battleships are going to have to there is an enemy contact. Let's see what we found over there. It's probably one of the Japanese battleships. We're quite familiar by now with the Choyo class. They are actually, no, that's not a Choyo class. It must be the battle cruiser. That's a different layout with the center line and the twin guns. That's the battle cruiser. So we are going to, well, cut across the line here and start targeting the enemy heavies at extreme range. I've dropped speed to 18 knots for the main group to give the destroyers a chance of a run up. We'll get Woolsey and Wicks probably to take the left flank, and I've got Phelps and Power on the other side. So we get Phelps pass Power and then head over there. Right now the range is too far. We're at 30 kilometers range that we've been spotting them. The Idaho has been spotted, but I don't think anyone has actual effective range with the guns that we have. They have bigger guns. The battle cruisers, I think, have 15-inch guns, and the Choyo class battleships have 14.4-inch guns, and they do have more than us, but they tend to be a little less well armored. So we'll see how this goes. We'll go in with the destroyers for starters. Especially Woolsey and Wicks have a relatively strong torpedo armament, whereas Phelps is more of a gunboat. We'll go scouting and see especially where the rest of the group is. The sheer amount of light cruisers can be a problem. So Idaho and New Mexico probably will need to take a standoff position a little bit more and see what they can get done. Yeah, they are the scouting forces. The enemy screens are laying smoke. There we have the battleships. That's the Shoyo class. Two triple turrets forward, 3 triple turrets aft, but not the greatest armor in the world. Lots of firepower, however. Last time we got lucky, and she is followed by her sister and then the battle cruiser afterwards. Last time we got lucky, but that we got a torpedo hit in early and we took out the battle cruiser. We can't always rely on that. So let's get the Wix class, especially the Wix class destroyers, into the path. And it looks like Idaho and New Mexico are starting to open fire. I mean, at that range, that is maximum range. I don't expect any hits just yet. But they're starting to get the range, and I'm probably going to need the destroyers to take a little bit more of a different direction. Okay, what do we have here? That is the heavy cruiser. Okay, we are going to actually start targeting the heavy cruiser, please, because that thing is the bigger threat with the torpedoes for now, and also has the more rapid firing guns. That is actually annoying that he is that far ahead. I would like to be targeting the big hitters more with the destroyers, really. So let's get the targeting for the destroyers sorted. We've got Phelps. Okay, Phelps can target the heavy cruiser. And Power, also please target the battleships. And the battle line is standing off a little bit. We'll have to be careful that we can make it past the screens and get into torpedo range. Okay, I'm going to get Woolsey and Wix to drop their torpedoes. And then change course. And we will get, at the same time, Phelps to lay smoke, drop her torpedoes as well, and Power can remain on course, trying to scout. Fortunately, the mine layers are relatively fast, so for now, we've got the torpedoes away from Woolsey and Wix, and we'll see. We'll sail a little bit. We'll sail a little bit further out. And make a turn here, and the same goes with Phelps, and we get Power to pass by the other side. Has Phelps launched her torpedoes? Phelps has launched her torpedoes, so we'll see if the heavy cruiser is running into our torpedoes, and but I would like to attack the main battle group with the destroyers, but they're too isolated, and right now they're taking fire from the heavy cruiser. Let's get Idaho and New Mexico up to full speed. There come torpedoes launched at the friendly destroyer group, which is good because it's easier for them to evade. I'm going to launch with Power as well. And then get Power out of here. We'll try to draw them back a little bit towards the battleships, and Idaho and New Mexico are going to have to play catch up, trying to hit the heavy cruiser from over there. But I think maybe one torpedo hit. Yes, one torpedo hit on the heavy cruiser. That's good. Could have been better, but it's a good start. And we'll get Woolsey and Wix to reload their torpedoes, turn around, while Power and Phelps are returning to the battle group for now. And Power does need to smoke up because she is taking fire now. So yeah, we'll return with everyone to the battle group and wait for the heavies to get into range of actually drawing blood. And I think they're starting to have the range on the cruiser. That was a hit from the 5-inch secondaries. I do need. Oh, there we go. That's the 14-inchers. And I think they just blew her clean out of the water. Yeah, she's gone. Those were the Idaho's and New Mexico's 14-inch guns. We'll get the destroyers to turn around and go back to scouting duty, really. Woolsey and Wix are going to have to reload their torpedoes. Power can get back into scouting. These torpedoes are harmless, and Phelps can move up ahead as well, while the battleships are maintaining their current course and engaged in a long-range battle with the enemy group. And it looks almost like the Japanese group wants to retreat here. They are definitely all sailing away. This should be one of the armored cruisers. Yes, these are the 7-inch twin guns. They're all laying smoke, and it looks almost as if they're disengaging after that early loss. So, well, we'll keep Idaho and New Mexico on target, and we will see if they are disengaging, or if they are really willing to fight in the end. Okay, it looks like one of the light cruisers has peeled off. We're going to target him with Woolsey and Wicks. We're going to take a little bit of a wider approach here, and we are continuing to try and hit the big battleships from the rear, from our line here. But at this range, it's actually relatively difficult to hit anything. They look like they're turning around now, and definitely opening up on the two destroyers here. So we do have to be a little bit careful. Yeah, they are targeting the destroyers. I would love to get some torpedoes away here, but we'll skirt it a little bit. We have power actually running up. And I'm kind of keen to get Power's torpedoes away at the big group here. So we'll see if she can get she can get into torpedo range. Phelps is not yet ready for torpedoes. I haven't seen anything of the enemy destroyers so far. So we'll try to make something happen with torpedoes while the battleships are ranging up. Let's see if we'll start targeting the cruisers with the battleships, and we'll see if because they are currently the biggest threat to Woolsey and Wicks. And we'll see if we can stay at range here. We should be faster than them. Woolsey and Wicks can do 35 knots. And these light cruisers should not be as fast. Power has launched her torpedoes, so she needs to get out of there. And Phelps as well needs to stay at range and make sure that she's not getting blown up. The destroyers obviously need to take a bit of the risk here. But if we can land a couple of good 14-inch hits on these light cruisers, then they are definitely going to be in trouble. Okay, the battleships should start having the range now. Let's see how close the groupings are coming against that light cruiser. Their screens are definitely going after the Wicks-class destroyers. That wasn't bad, actually. A little bit behind, but I think these are all light cruisers. There's plenty of those light cruisers around. Okay, that was a partial penetration from one of the 4-inch guns, actually. But where's the battle line? Back there. I want to target the battle line with the destroyers. We'll smoke up and see if we can get a little closer to drop the torpedoes once they are ready. There are incoming torpedoes here against Phelps, I think. Yeah, Phelps needs to dodge this. Let's get Phelps to turn and make sure that she sails between those torpedoes. But I think she shouldn't have too much of a problem. Power is returning after dropping her torpedoes, and we've got torpedoes incoming here as well. So we got to get Woolsey to turn into those, although that's just single torpedoes from the light cruisers. So not a huge problem to dodge those. I'm just making sure we're not running into them. No hits so far from the 14-inchers, and that destroyer Is that a destroyer? No, that's another light cruiser. Okay, that should not be a huge problem. Let's keep targeting the heavies and get the torpedoes away if you can. This is a little bit at long distance. What is Phelps doing? Phelps is doing okay when it comes to these torpedoes. And the main line is still trying to hit the... We can slow down a little bit again to 18 knots. Still trying to hit the light cruiser, but is struggling at this range. It's the Kuma. Having a hard time hitting her at this range. We can potentially turn in a little bit, and the power can turn around again. Where did Phelps go? Phelps has avoided the torpedoes. Yep, there come all the torpedoes. She has avoided the torpedoes, so we'll get her to turn around. And how are the two destroyers here who have snuck behind the battle line? And I'm gonna get them to turn around while they have the smoke ready. Keep targeting the Yamashiro and drop the torpedoes on the other side, and then get out of here. Battleships are still trying to hit the light cruisers here, and I think they may have managed. Okay, they're actually targeting the second one now, the Chiyoda. But okay, that was a couple of hits here from the 14-inch. So it looks like we are getting into a situation where they can actually unload at them. Okay, destroyers are getting torpedoes away from the other side, and then we're going to get them out of here again. So I'm just sending torpedoes into this general group here, hoping that we'll be hitting something at long range. Power is back and ready if needed, and Phelps can actually make a torpedo run of her own now. So target the enemy battle cruiser, and we'll see if Phelps can drop a couple torpedoes. That's not her forte, but I do have to be a bit careful here with Woolsey and Wicks, while the battleships can adjust their course a little bit. They've landed some hits on the Chiyoda, and they're starting to be in secondary range now. So we'll see what we can do there. And I think there are more torpedoes in the water. I'm not sure what they're aimed at, but I think these are just single torpedoes from the light cruiser. Woolsey and Wicks should be okay. Battleships are still a little far from the light cruisers, but now targeting the Kuma again, who is broadsiding, and if we're lucky we get a couple good hits in. I really want these cruisers out of the way here, because they are threatening my destroyers, who are going to be needing to turn around. And we've got Power here sailing ahead, and we've got Phelps doing a run-up towards the enemy battle group. I don't think we've managed to hit anything with the torpedoes, but well, Phelps has got smoke ready, so she can go and drop some torpedoes. More torpedoes back over here, I think. Yeah, there might be some destroyer torpedoes in the water somewhere as well. And we are still targeting the light cruisers here, obviously fully broadsiding because they are no threat. We're getting a couple of partial penetrations with the 14 inches against the armored cruisers. They can actually be relatively sturdy. I think in some points they are better armored than the actual heavy cruisers. I'm gonna drop speed to 15 knots. And so these cruisers are dead in the water. Yep, that's starting to hit home. Okay, how is Phelps going? Phelps is getting relatively close. Target the battle cruiser with torpedoes, smoke up, and torpedoes away when you have a chance. We don't want to get too close. Obviously, that gives them a chance to evade. So far, we haven't really been lucky with the torpedo drops. I don't think we've landed many torpedo hits. Just the 14-inch hits. Okay, the light cruiser is now smoking up. So we do have to be a little careful with Woolsey and Wicks here, because they are... I'm going to disable torpedoes again. They are now getting relatively close to those light cruisers, who are actually charging the battleships. So they can probably help out taking these down. And Phelps needs to dodge torpedoes here. I think Phelps needs to get out of here. I think they have noticed Phelps. So they have launched torpedoes, and there is a... Okay, just drop the torpedoes at the nearest ship. Avoid the incoming torpedoes and then get the heck out of here, because that's a lot of ships here. Power is not yet ready with torpedoes, but we're going to get her to smoke up for now, because she is drawing a bit of fire. And Phelps needs to do a full turn. She's launched the torpedoes. She has no more torpedo ammunition, so Phelps does need to get out of here. And Woolsey and Wicks are unloading with their guns now at the light cruisers here. There is still the Kuma, which is undamaged, so we'll get the battleships to focus on the Kuma, who is the closer threat. Let's get this guns turned around, and we'll get Woolsey and Wicks to try and finish off this light cruiser here. How's Phelps doing? Avoiding torpedoes and getting away. And actually landing hits with her 5-inchers against the light cruisers. There come the torpedoes from Phelps. It's a good spread, but I think it's probably missed most of them, which is really unfortunate. We haven't had much luck with torpedoes so far. So Phelps at this point is completely out. Power is not yet reloaded, so we're going to get power to turn around as well. Phelps to disengage here. And the battleships are still trying to target the Kuma, whereas Woolsey and Wicks are getting close, trying to finish off the Chiyoda, which has taken a lot of damage and has engine problems, but it's not yet out for the count actually. So this is risky for... Okay, this is actually too risky, I think, for the destroyers. I thought she was more heavily damaged. And at this point, we are starting to get pretty close to the enemy battle line. So let's get... yeah, they're struggling to hit Kuma, who is kind of sailing behind, but a couple of good 14-inch hits should hopefully do away with them. Yeah, I think the torpedo drop from Phelps was a bust. So we're going to get power to fall in with Phelps at this point. Phelps can take the lead. That is going to slow her down a little bit, but I do want them back to try and finish off these light cruisers. So start targeting that. And Woolsey and Wicks are taking fire, but are still in a gun duel. And the battleships are landing some hits on the Kuma, but are starting to not be in a good position anymore. I think it's just New Mexico who can really unload at Kuma. Come on, give me a couple of good hits here. Partial penetrations from the 14-inchers. Yeah, these armored cruisers are sturdy. I mean, these are good hits, but I think I will have to turn the battleships around at this point, because they're getting awfully close to the enemy main group, and that's not something I want. So unfortunately we are going to have to turn the battleships around, and the destroyers are coming back here. We'd want to finish off these 2 cruisers before we do anything else. So once Woolsey and Wix are reloaded, we'll have another attempt at the enemy battle group. We'll see if they can make something happen with the guns against the Chiyoda. But I do need to turn the battleships around because they are okay. Speed up to 21 knots. Engines all ahead flank, and we'll get you turned around. And try to finish off these 2, and then we'll sort of sail away. We don't want to sail straight into the enemy battle group. That is a dangerous proposal. So that's probably enough. We're going to go turn about, and then Phelps and Power can sail past and target the Kuma as well, while Woolsey and Wix are going to try and finish off the Chiyoda here. They have torpedoes ready. I'm going to smoke up with Woolsey. I just don't want to waste the torpedoes on the damaged light cruiser, honestly. But I think it's the better choice, to be honest. Let's drop the torpedoes, and then if they can, they might have the torpedoes on the other side ready. Okay, turn about. We'll see if they can. Actually, you know what? You're okay. So don't drop the torpedoes. Save the torpedoes. Try to gun down the light cruisers if possible. And we have Idaho and New Mexico in the turn, and we've got Phelps and Power going for the Kuma. Yeah, we want the Kuma out of the way first, please. I know this is kind of less than ideal because we're getting the battleships out of their original alignment, and they don't really have the same. They don't have the guns ranged. They need to turn turrets around, all these things, but they are landing. Ooh, they're landing some good shots here, all over penetrations, but that's gonna hurt. So, and with the destroyers closing in, how are these 2 doing here? Actually coming under fire from the other side as well, but so far only minor damage. So we'll keep trying to take down the light cruiser there. Battleships still in the turn. I'll go for a full turn. And Phelps herself has a decent amount of guns, so we'll see what she can do. Okay, I think Kuma is pretty much dead in the water. She has taken a couple of the 14-inch hit, a couple of hits from the 14-inchers, and is actually trying to help out her sister at this point. So I think I can get the battle line to complete the turn. Where is the rest of the cruiser force going? There they are, and start targeting some of the start chasing down the line again. So we'll complete the full turn here. Get the guns around. Kuma is down, so Phelps and Power help out on the other side with the Chiyoda, where Woolsey and Wix are struggling in a gun duel with that light cruiser. I think she is pretty much dead in the water as well. She's got engine damage, so they should be able to gun her down if possible, but obviously they are taking some return fire here. And I do need these destroyers, so let's get them to turn away. Don't want to present too good of a target. Phelps and Power coming in, they can help, and the battle line is turning about, and it's going to start trying to wrap up the enemy cruisers there. Okay, this is going to be a long battle. Okay, Woolsey has taken a lot more damage than I would have liked from I think a hit from the secondaries from the armored cruiser. So I am going to detach her, to be honest. Woolsey She's still making speed, but she's taken on a lot of water. We'll see if the pumps can manage that. Wix is turning. I do want to use their torpedoes, not against the singular light cruiser, but against the oncoming group there. It looks like the main group of ships is actually disengaging. So it looks like they're sending the cruiser force. They're sacrificing the armored cruisers to save their heavies, which is surprising because they do have a good amount of firepower, to be honest. But they seem not to be interested in a battleship action. So, well, we'll clean up the light cruisers or the armored cruisers with the battleships if we can, and we'll try to take down the Chiyoda with Phelps. And then Woolsey is still flooding, but they did get the flooding under control in the central area. But that somewhat changes the situation if the heavies are okay. Both of them are now flooding. If the heavy cruisers, or the heavy ships are disengaging, yeah, they are running. The Yamashiro, the Kaio, and the battle cruiser, they are running. They're sending the cruisers in, trying to push us away. That is actually more of a threat for our destroyers. So in that case, we can target the light cruisers here. I'm just going to drop my torpedoes, and then I'm going to get Woolsey out of here. So Woolsey, drop your torpedoes, please, if you can, on these light cruisers. Wix not yet, because Woolsey is right in the way. And Phelps and Power. Phelps has no torpedoes. Power has no torpedoes. But Phelps has a lot of guns. And the battle line is intercepting here to try and deal with and draw the light cruisers away from the. Which one are they targeting right now? No, don't target this one. Target the Chihaya. This one, the Chiyoda, we can finish that off without too much trouble. Woolsey has launched all her torpedoes, so I'm going to get Woolsey to retreat. Wix, target the light cruisers up there, and we'll have to wait for Woolsey to get clear. Wix is okay. They have managed to control the flooding, and Phelps and Power are hammering the Chiyoda with small caliber fire from close range, and the battle line is aiming at the enemy light cruisers, and we do need to get closer with them if we want to be more effective. So let's change course slightly, make that happen. Okay, the Chiyoda is sinking, which means that Phelps and Power can help can just help keeping the other light cruisers spotted. Wix has fired all her torpedoes, so she can fall in with those, and will just become gunboats at this stage. But the battleships are doing the heavy lifting here against the enemy light cruisers. The Chihaya looks pretty bad. Her engines are destroyed. Her rudder is destroyed, and we've got two more here that are already taking fire. And we're gonna keep closing the range here with Idaho and New Mexico. And I think as sturdy as these armored cruisers are at close ranges, they are going to be. They're going to be absolutely devastated. And they don't have a huge torpedo loadout. The heavy cruiser was the more dangerous one in that regard. And that one has been way too aggressive early on. And we actually managed a torpedo hit. Yep, the Chihaya is sinking. We've managed a torpedo hit on the Chihaya. Nice. I don't know who it was. Must have been Woolsey or Wicks, but one of those torpedoes has found its mark. So the battleships, yeah, they're smoking up already. The battleships can now close the range and try to finish off the enemy light cruisers. While the main battleship line with their escort is escaping. So we'll take the light cruisers down if we can. And I think then it's a question of, well, we're completely out of torpedoes. It'll be a question if we can still catch the enemy heavies. I think that's the end of the Sendai. She just took a full broadside from one of the battleships. And yep, she's confirmed sinking. That's another one down. Oh, incoming torpedoes here. Phelps does need to be. Where have they been sent? Okay, they're going in a different direction. It's all good. Phelps and her gang can smoke up here now and try to get into close gun range, while Idaho and New Mexico are giving chase. Well, they are standard type battleships, so they're not very fast at that. But yeah, Naturi, you're next. I think Wicks has taken a hit. That might have been... Oh, and there's a torpedo, but I think power should be safe from that one. Okay, the Naturi is down. I'm not sure. Power might take this torpedo. Come on. You can pass. All good, all good. Torpedoes pass. But I think Wicks has taken a torpedo, has taken a hit from one of the light cruiser guns. So I'm going to get her to detach. She is flooding, she's out of torpedoes, and she's running low on ammunition, low on HE ammunition. So I think Wicks's job might be done here. I'm going to get her to retreat as well. That leaves me still with Phelps and Power, as well as the Idaho and the New Mexico, who really haven't taken much of a damage because the Japanese battle group has decided to run away. They are shooting back, but it looks like they haven't managed to get far away enough to from the sacrifice of their cruiser group here, because that's certainly what that was. I mean, these light cruisers did not stand a chance. We've got 3 more light cruisers over there and the main battle group. The light cruisers are running now as well, and Idaho and New Mexico don't have a chance of catching those because they only do 21 knots. So we'll fire a couple of parting shots, but I think that may be the... Oh no, we'll manage to get a couple of shots in still. Maybe we can still catch another light cruiser, but I really want the capital ships. We'll see. We might have to go for an engagement on another day, because they are running, and I think they are faster than us. So if they can dictate the engagement. And yeah, at this point we don't really have a chance of hitting those anymore, because they are those light cruisers are the light cruisers I think are faster as well. They do 27 knots. Tenryu is disengaging. I think we don't have a chance of hitting them with the heavies. So we'll disengage with the destroyers, because by themselves they don't really stand a chance of taking them on. It's still been a decisive victory. Oh no, never mind. We have managed to get a hit on. Okay, I'll take it. I was about to call it a day, but it looks like we still have managed to land a hit or two on the enemy cruiser group. Towards the end of the day, the Japanese fleet has disengaged, and although the capital ships have gone away unscathed, they have lost the Mikuma, one of their heavy cruisers, and they have lost a 5 5 light cruisers or armored cruisers plus a heavily damaged Tenryu. The destroyers haven't really made much of a show. And all in all, the damage record goes to the Idaho, who has her and New Mexico have really shown the quality of their gunnery here with the 14-inch guns. But yeah, the Japanese, the goal hasn't been achieved because the Japanese fleet has managed to disengage. Meanwhile, the conduct of the war and the devastating losses against the American Navy have caused the people of Japan to rise up and declare a democracy. The emperor has been exiled, and the still by name Empire of Japan now fights for their very survival. They still have a veritable fleet with 3 battleships and 3 battle cruisers, but the light forces are severely decimated. And I think we can probably start shifting our focus towards naval invasions once everyone is repaired. We're going to have to get the fleets to return. So we've still got we have Idaho and New Mexico. They will try. They're still good on ammo, although the destroyers are not so much. But they will try to. Together with the Lexington, we'll try to form up, and then we'll get the Lexington to try and intercept the Japanese group, and we're going to try and form up together with the rest of the fleet, and that should give us enough firepower to take these on. I would love for these battleships not to return home. They are clearly trying to after the bruising they've just received to their screening group, but the rest of the fleet is returning, and we do have some repairs to enact. So right now, I think everyone's still John C. Butler is being repaired, but everybody else is still on the move, getting back to their respective ports. And here we've got Arizona, Pennsylvania, San Francisco, and the heavily damaged Oakland and Cabot, as well as Farragut and Little. They'll be returning to Davao for repairs as well.